Debris washed up. Let me actually step over. Look at all this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so apart from these particular waters generally having a higher bacteria count than other areas, where you can go swimming, a lot more debris washes up right in the bay. I guess that makes sense. It is a bay. I mean, I guess it makes sense for it to collect more debris than other places. But I mean, Jesus, like, this would not be ideal beaching or comfortable beaching. Um, and so you see, no one's here. Probably if this were the only beach, people would probably keep it regularly cleaned and actually go. But I don't know. There's like 15 other beaches just going up the coast. Just if I were to just walk up the coast for, I don't know, 5 miles, there are like literally 15 other beaches. Where you could go and just not even have to worry about that. Oh wow, a rainbow's coming in right where I'm headed, actually. Right above Coconut Island. It's so faint. Oh. 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 Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I just got something stuck in my leg. That was weird. I thought there was a rainbow going right above Coconut Island. But rainbows are tricky. The particular rainbow that I just tried to show everyone, you know what? Actually, I think there's two. There was one that, but essentially there was one that popped up right in front of me, like right in front of us, just right by the seashore, in the middle of the rain. Just a small rainbow, only a few yards away, which is kind of cool. But there is one over Coconut Island right now too. In any case, as you can see, you know, as I'm walking, it's just all debris here. No one is really bothering themselves to go into the water here. I wonder if I still haven't found out the story behind these boats, but it essentially looks like they're public. Look, this one was just used. Oh no, this one got rained on. But yeah, I think anyone can just take these boats and just return them. These ones at least are definitely too large to really walk away with. You would need quite a large truck to be able to take them anywhere. And then they have smaller ones too. But I do wonder whether or not during tourist season, they clean up all the debris that gets washed up, you know, like whether or not people maybe take care of the shores by the bay a little bit better, just because there's guests. Oh man, I don't know what it is, but for today, I definitely feel a little bit more tired, a little bit more sluggish. I honestly think I might be working too many hours between the two jobs that I have. And so right now I'm renting out a decent room, but I do know that, you know, I'm renting out a decent room at like a house, you know, on some nice property, and like the owners are really nice and really gracious and accommodating. But oh yeah, there's wild ferret out here. That is a ferret. But I honestly, I don't know. I feel a little bit. I basically work 6 days a week. And I work 6 days a week. Again, I'm like between jobs, and it's a little bit rough, like coming from 2019 and prior, where I am typically working like salaried IT jobs. It's been kind of rough finding work. It's been kind of rough finding work here, and so I've definitely been doing how do you say? I've definitely been putting in more hours, and hours that are a little bit more physically strenuous than I normally would have to, were I not between jobs, and so I really have to weigh my options as far as like considering cutting back work, and one of the things about being here in Hilo and being here in Hawaii is that it's someplace that you can really enjoy being just on its own, like whether you have a lot of money or not, like you can have no money and pretty much enjoy every single day, just like going to the beach, like I don't know, going boating, like going snorkeling, hiking, like and right now I'm thankful that that I managed to find someplace that's like a good house to live in. But if I absolutely need to, I know that like downtown there are some, like, if you really are not afraid to rough it, and I mean really rough it, there are some like very, very, very shabby accommodations, probably like a 10 by 10 rooms, in what looks like it may have used to be like maybe like barracks or like dorms of some sort, maybe like 100 years ago or something. I don't know how old the building might be, but I know that there are at least some places where you can rent here for $200 a month, and if you don't mind roughing it, this is assuming you don't have like a set job or whatever, like you're not making a salary, or you're not like working remote off of some like very nice salary. There's definitely still ways you can make things work here. There's some places where you can rent like very, very meager accommodations for $200 a month, in which case, even if you were working at like a gas station or something, or like in retail for like $10 an hour or something, you could still actually support yourself off of maybe working about 2 days a week. So I'm taking that into consideration. now. I think I'll probably give it maybe like 6 months. I'll take my first 6 months to like kind of figure out how things are coming together, and like whether the amount of hours that I'm working is like more than more than I really can handle in terms of stressing my body out. And I'll if that's the case, then I'll downsize to like a very meager apartment downtown. And it's like, even though you kind of come home to um, just like a sort of very shabby, living space. You can basically get away with working just like a couple days a week, and then like spend like the whole rest of the time just going and like enjoying the beach, or like studying, or like pursuing other things that you might want to. For me, I've been studying Chinese as a second language for about 4 years now. I think I have about 2 years to go before it all comes together. But my aim is to be able to work freelance as a translator. I think it'd be a great way to be able to be settled, to be able to be settled. Like making enough money to support yourself, and settled without having to be what's the word without having to be stationary, or like locked into like living in one state, or in one town, or in one country. And so, typically over the past few years, I try to study like a little bit every day. It's not something that's like, I mean, it's definitely not something that's the easiest thing. It's a lot of material. It's mostly just a lot of material. It's like, how difficult it was to memorize, like your times tables or whatever, like the up to 12 times tables. And so it's just like, okay, well, try to memorize up to 12 million times tables. Like you could do it. Well, I don't know if you could do that, but try going up to, maybe I should have said like 12,000 times table, or something like that. Like you could do it given enough time, but it would just take years. It would just take years. And so I've been chipping away at it a little bit at a time. When I started out, I would try to hit at least an hour a day. But some days I would have bad days. Like it's not that easy to concentrate, especially if you're not like a reader, or someone who is like used to like just sitting down and like quieting yourself. And um or if you have roommates, like like it is possible if you don't have roommates to like create an environment where like there's no TV, there's only books, like there are only productive things around you to be able to do. But not so easy if you like have roommates and stuff. But yeah, I've been studying it. I've been studying it on the side, regardless of my situation, of what regardless of what I've been doing otherwise, in terms of like work or in terms of like my housing situation or what have you. And it's actually been coming together. Like it's been slowly but surely coming together. And I'm just about to get into like high school level Chinese, where I should be able to like read newspapers and magazines and stuff and you know, um, translate that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I've got maybe about two more years solid. And so, if I feel like overwhelmed with my sleep work schedule or my work rest schedule in order to try to keep up with rent and bills, I would be willing to rough it and like live someplace where I only have to pay $200 a month, in order to just free up that time, to free up all the rest of those hours, and probably just put it into probably like swimming every day and studying, and probably continuing to search for like remote work online. Um, um, so we'll see. Like I said, I'll give it about 6 months. Um, I hadn't intended on filming this entire rest stop. I think what I will do right now. Let me see what time it is. All right, it's about to be 3 o'clock. It didn't. It ended up not full on raining, which is cool, and it's warming. It's warming. Well, I shouldn't say it's warming back up, but like at least where I am right now, the sun is out, and the rain was kind of cool, so I had like a little hoodie on, but like it's now that the rain stopped for a little bit, it's warming back up. I'm sure it'll start raining again, maybe in like another 2 or 3 hours. But so far, no complaints. If I can do what I just been talking about, if I can actually pick up freelance work, translating, wow, I would probably. I want to believe that I would try to settle down here. Um, Freelance translating. Depending on how experienced you are and how good you are, for at least for those languages, for English and Chinese, it definitely pays well enough for a person to be able to support themselves. It's interesting. They pay by the pound with translating. They pay per word. Like so you'll translate for like 5 cents a word, or like 3 cents a word. Like on the low end if you're new, and then if you're like really good, you can charge. The people will pay, or companies will pay maybe like 12 cents a word, or 18 cents a word, or 20 cents a word. I've even seen some people, charge more than that, charge like $1 per word. Um, but I do kind of keep reaching out to different companies that need freelance work, and there's definitely stuff available. So we'll see. But so far enjoying it here. Just But at this juncture, I definitely feel like it's very important to make sure that you are enjoying it. Like I know some people who've moved here, who've lived here longer than me, like who are new transplants, like maybe 6 months in, who like haven't even been to a beach once because they're like so busy, like caught up working, like working, like long hours, working service jobs. You come home and you just want to crash. Um, um, as I sort of approach 40, approach being 40 years old, mm, like I'm feeling a little bit more like I have a little bit less energy, and so I definitely value being able to, how to say, being able to actually enjoy each day. And here it doesn't take much. Like you don't have to do anything. Like you just need to be here. But if you are here but you're like cooped up inside an office for 90 hours a week, then like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Um, um, so so I'm gonna keep plugging away, trying to find remote work in IT. I'm gonna keep trying for translation gigs, but honestly, I know that I'm not qualified yet. We use computer assistive technology, um, in order to aid in translations. And so I've been, with the aid of special software, I've been applying out for freelance positions. And whenever they test me, like I use my own knowledge plus the software's knowledge, um, to try to come up with accurate translations a little bit before the time when I'm actually ready and like qualified to translate on my own without any assistance. Um, but a true qualified translator should be able to translate without any assistive technology, and then also use assistive technology just as like um, just as like an added measure, as just as like part of the standard, I guess the standard that translators go by. Like you know how to do it. so far, at least what I'm seeing in terms of like English and Chinese computers, they're still not quite there. They're still not quite there. I think a lot of the trouble is like computers haven't figured out with certain languages how to read when certain things are implied. And so sometimes sentences come together and sometimes they don't. But yeah, I think my goal, I think most people, especially if they're driven and focused, they want to try to try to haul ass and work extra hard and work extra smart and try to get the most money and then invest properly so that they can then either retire early or get that time back in the future. But it's a little bit too late for that for me. And so um, I'm 37 right now. I probably would have needed to be very driven at 22 or something like that for that. So so my goal is actually just always be incorporating the things that I've always wanted to do in life into my work and into my day-to-day experience, and worry about you know everything else later. I don't think it's that hard to be able to make a decent amount, if I keep studying. But I at least know that I'd always wanted to learn other languages, and so it's more important to me at this juncture that I just keep my hours low and just make it so that I get to enjoy life day to day, and work on whatever it is that I'd always wanted to do. It doesn't take much. Most of the stuff that I'd always wanted to do doesn't take much. Doesn't really take much money. Being here in Hawaii, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much just to enjoy being here. Um, studying things that I always wanted to learn, that's free. You know, going out to enjoy the beach, that's free. Um, Taking care of yourself, that's all free. And the people I mentioned in a previous video, the people here know it. I'm told that people here, and apparently